In our married life, there were some things that were very, very stressful to us. And we said, well, we survived them. There's some things we survived. Our lives would have been less dramatic without these. Now, the picture is a picture of Don standing in a peanut field, 10 acres. The peanuts had been very, very beautiful. And he had checked on them and they were ready to dig, but it would be a few days before he got to them. And when he went, the wild hogs had found the field, and this is what it looked like. Nothing. Every plant was gone, every peanut was gone, nothing. But we tightened our belts and we survived it. Now I'm going to read you about Dennis's trip to hell. At least that's what he said it was. This is about Dennis driving Daddy's 1949 truck loaded with cows to the stockyard north of Jackson. Now Jackson is our capital city. It's 60 miles from our house to the city limits. Well, then you've got to drive through the city and keep going north of it for several miles. So it would have been a 75-mile one-way trip. It was the summer of 1955 when Dennis and I were experiencing our first year of marriage. Dennis volunteered to drive Daddy's truck and carry a load of old coal dairy cows to the stockyard north of Jackson. Cow sellers had found out, or maybe they just thought they got a better price if they would carry their old cows north of Jackson to that stockyard, even though it was 3 times farther away than Laurel or Hattiesburg stockyards. Dennis had carried his dad's cows up there a few times, and he was familiar with the route. Dennis's dad, Mr. Barry Mitchell, had just bought a new 1955 2-ton Ford truck with big tires and overload springs. Maneuvering the 2-lane 49 highway through each small town, plus splitting downtown Jackson wide open, had been a piece of cake in that truck. And Dennis was fully confident of his ability to make the trip. Well, my daddy had a 1.5-ton 1949 Chevrolet with small truck tires and no overload springs. It did have tall cattle side planks. Daddy loaded it as full of dairy cows, old cold dairy cows, as he could. He put hay on the floor so the cows' hooves wouldn't slip, and Dennis took off. The cows did not want to be in there, so they pushed each other, making the truck sway and hard to keep between the ditches. The very first red light in Collins was on a hillside, and it caught him. With a struggle and a dance with his feet, from brake to clutch to accelerator, he made it. Going down the beautiful divided boulevard in Mount Olive, he noticed in the rearview mirror that a cow had gotten on the floor, lying down with others standing on her. He stopped, crawled down amongst them, and got her to stand. Whew! Oh, thank goodness. He was nervous, and he was smoking at that time, so he chain smoked his cigarettes. As he was dodging traffic 25 miles on up the road going through McGee, Mississippi, he noticed smoke drifting from the hay under the cows. Oh no, the hay was on fire. He found a place to pull over, crawled amongst the cows again, and stomped out the fire. When trucks are too heavily loaded, it's hard to get them started or stopped. So it was not fun for Dennis as he cruised through the city of Jackson on old Highway 49. And part of it was named State Street, going right by the Capitol. He made it to the stockyard, and he had to stay there all day and watch the cows being sold so he could bring the money back home as he came. He returned safely with a strong urge to kiss the ground.